After another unfortunate loss at the hands of an Azumarill, your Denver Big Nuggets are back in action for Week 7 of the IDL Pokemon Draft League. This week we're taking on Lion3L in the Glaive Rushers, and this team has a combination of a lot of threats I've commonly seen in my time in the draft scene. The team consists of Conkeldurr, Heatrotom, Amoonguss, Quagsire, Kilowattrel, Komala, Espeon, Leavanny, Meloetta, Magnezone, and Dracloak. The Terra Captains for this team come in the form of Conkeldurr, Komala, and Dracloak, which mainly just gives him a big red buttoning the Conk, where he can just set up and sweep me, but Komala's no laughing matter. With Banded Sleep Talk Last Resort, can really pick off a couple of my mons, and Dracloak, not really sure what that can do, to be honest, but it could catch me off guard if I'm not careful. All of the team has a lot of legit threats. I think our new look Big Nugget should be well equipped to deal with this, and whatever might come. Now, with that being said, I do believe I have the 6 in order to get into the playoffs this week, and those 6 start off with Terrakion. I really wanted some goofy sets to try and throw off my opponent, but I just kind of kept it simple with this whole team. We brought back the Choice Scarf, same moves, Close Combat, Earthquake, Rock Slide, but with X-Scissor just to account for Espeon, Meloetta, and whatever types Conkeldurr could run. Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly Nature, outspeeds his entire team that doesn't have a Scarf. Just gives me another comfort mon going into the matchup. Next up is Hippowdon holding the leftovers. Basically just a copy paste from last week. Earthquake, Crunch over Rock Slide, Slack off Rocks. Really just keeping with this theme of comfort here, just to calm my thoughts a bit after suffering a 2-game losing streak. Simple max HP, max defense set. Just soak up hits, get rocks up, maybe swing with Earthquake, but really not relying on this thing for offense. Next up, we do have Bisharp coming back this week with Terra Flying again, mainly as just a way to cover for whatever offensive mons he brings. Sword Stance, Bisharp with good health, really just kind of clicks into his team. Espeon, Meloetta don't appreciate a Throat Chop or a Sucker Punch. Conk, Leavanny, Amoonguss never really appreciate a Terra Blast, let alone a +2 Terra Blast. And Eviolite, tried and true, max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature, really just kind of is the bread and butter for this mon. Really just kind of keeping things simple, make my thought process just as efficient and as calm as possible in stress situations. Keeping up this comfort, we're just bringing back Delphox. We got Assault Vest, and this will be a mon that really can just sit in front of his special attackers. We're rocking Flamethrower, Psychic, and Grass Knot mainly just to pick off Quag outside the screens, and Flame Charge to help me outspeed his entire team aside from a Scarfed or a timid Kilowattrel. We're going a bit bulkier here with 240 in HP, max special attack, and then the rest in speed, which helps me creep his entire team after a Flame Charge boost. Gonna keep repeating it. Comfort mindset, we're bringing back Whimsicott with leftovers, just sticking to that game plan we got. Same set in EVs as previous weeks. We got Moonblast as my attacking move, which it just hits Conk and Dracloak, and then his other mons, they just kind of get hit neutrally with the Moonblast, but really just kind of keeping this mon as a pivot, Leech Seed, and Encore if I can catch something. And then lastly, to round out the team, we are bringing the last free agent we have yet to bring in Boots Cryogonal. We're mainly just bringing him as a hazard control option, but also just a way for me to come in and deal with some of his annoying mons with Freeze Dry, because I mean, Conk, Amoonguss, Leavanny, they're all weak to ice, especially Freeze Dry, so I just kind of wanted to bring this just as a check to those. Of course we got Rapid Spin, but we also have both screens this week. I almost went Ice Beam and Recover, but figured the extra bulk and just defense could help, especially if Conk doesn't have Brick Break. I really wanted to go Light Clay, but I just figured if I'm going to pivot this thing in and out with rocks on the field, it's already fragile enough to the point to where I'd want to prevent the hazard damage when it comes in. Otherwise, simple max speed, max special attack, timid nature. I've never used this mon before, so we're just kind of going with Smogon says for this one, just keeping it transparent. So that will be my team going into Week 7 of the IDL Pokemon Draft League. As always, let me know your thoughts on the team. Drop a like, leave a comment below. This is going to be a very important game for us as we need to break out of this slump that we've kind of got going. And really a win here. This is going to be determining if we're in the play-in or not, because top 6 is the cut, before the play-ins start, and I would love to have a week to actually take some time and prep for this playoff run that I really want to make. Depending on what my opponents do next week, we have to win this one, possibly next, but if we go like 1-1 these next 2 weeks, worst case I just fight my way in the play-in, which is no stranger to me. And if you want to make sure you keep up to date with my play-in run or just my playoff run in general, make sure to consider subscribing just to make sure you don't miss a battle, and just so you keep up to date with any other leagues I choose to post on here. I have held you all up long enough, so let's just go ahead and get right into the battle. Alright, so we are here for our Week 7 match against Lion3L. It's not the typical setup in Scarlet and Violet because I do have a flight to catch, and we kind of put a bit of a rush on this game, so shout out to Lion3L for accommodating me. He did let me know that his Conkeldurr is Terra Water. Not sure if I'm going to cut it so you can see it on here, but let's see what he... I think I just go straight up Cryogonal and then just get up some screens turn 1. We're going to switch it up this week. We're going to see how this goes. Kilowattrel. Does Kilowattrel ever kill me? Kilowattrel against Cryogonal. Freeze Dry is always killing. We will get a light screen up though. Well, I could have put recover on this thing. Yeah, we'll just get a light screen up. Awesome. And then now we will go Hippowdon. Just get up rocks, because he didn't bring... what's his face? He didn't bring... Espeon. Burned a little bit. Kinda sucks, not gonna lie. But this thing's just kinda here to soak up the hits. So I am fine with that, I think. I'm just gonna go right out into Delphox. And Delphox should kill this thing, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, Grass Knot is always killing. I'm just gonna go for it. Unless if he just... Okay. He's Rocky Helmet. Okay, that is... Good lord, why did he not... Okay, he must be very specially invested, because there's no way that doesn't. Okay, there's no shot that shouldn't have... Okay, I don't know. He's probably gonna switch, so I'm just gonna Flame Charge. Become that little bit of a raid boss. Okay, Amoonguss. Flamethrower should kill. We're just gonna go for it. That's kind of unfortunate, but if I get a wake up, of course I don't. I don't think Meloetta... Can Meloetta do anything to me? I mean, if he has Focus Blast, but why would he ever go for that? I'm just gonna go hard out into Bisharp. See what he wants to do. Shadow Ball, that's fine. I'm going to Swords Dance. Hope he doesn't stay in, which he never does. Unaware. Let's see. I believe I should kill this thing. Yeah, Throat Chop. Depending on the set, should kill. We're just gonna go Terra Flying and Throat Chop. Awesome. So now Kilowattrel kind of comes in, which is a little unfortunate now. I probably could have waited to Terra. Rotom. is even worse. Rotom Heat. Sucker Punch at +2. It's getting good chip. I'm just gonna go for it. Fine by me. That is, he will die on switch in next time. Conkeldurr. Mach Punch should kill, right? And if he just goes for Terra Water, it's still doing good chip. If he doesn't Terra Water, Sucker Punch is doing a good chip. Surely Mach Punch kills, right? There's no shot? It doesn't. He has to be max attack for it to kill. Oh wait, no, hold on. No, Mach Punch never kills it. I'm Terra Blast, I don't care. Bye-bye Conk. That's a huge threat off the board. Alright. Bisharp coming in clutch here. Kilowatt roll. I don't think he... Oh. Alright. Well... Yeah. You know what? Looking at the board state, that makes sense. Because Sucker Punch just kind of cleans up, and then I have Scarf Terrakion in the back, so yeah, that makes sense. Well, this will be the shortest battle of the week, and I believe with this win, your Denver Big Nuggets now, we're 5-1. No, we're 5-2. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's a pretty good lock for playoffs. So, yeah, I'm kind of speechless, but yeah, GG's to Lion3L. Appreciate you again for accommodating me here, and with that being said, I will see you all next week for the final week of the regular season, and to try and further cement our spot in the playoffs. See y'all next week for game day. Later.